The next President of the United States, Mr. Donald J. Trump.
Hey, it's Jordan with TYT Network. I'm out of the grandiose Trump Soho down in Soho. Gotta say, I was expecting it to be a little bit more grand. Very nice hotel, but not exactly the Ritz that I was expecting, but that's for another day. Anyway, Donald Trump just wrapped up his speech on the economy, and you could really call it more of a condemnation of Hillary Clinton. Or he didn't mention the word crooked. I was very surprised about that, but he did call her a liar several times.
Hillary Clinton, and as you know, most people know, she's a world-class liar. Just look at her pathetic email server statements or her phony landing.
I'll leave it to the rest of the people to cover the horse race. This speech, to me, was what you would have expected him to say and act like the day after he officially become the presumptive Republican nominee. Pretty much the beginning of the speech, the middle of the speech, and the end of the speech was laser-like on jobs, the economy, and trade deals, and more specifically about the specific things that Hillary Clinton has done, the specific donations she's taken, and the shady behavior she's engaged in that make her unqualified to become president.
We'll never be able to fix a rigged system by counting on the same people who have rigged it in the first place.
Trump also really branded himself embracing that outsider nature. He said, if this is not about the politicians, this is about the people. He had a few slogans that I thought were, if you had a conscience and didn't know he was such a racist, you actually he could sound like a good candidate.
She believes she's entitled to the office. Her campaign slogan is, "I'm with her." You know what my response is to that? I'm with you, the American people.
He went into Hillary Clinton a lot harder than Bernie Sanders has ever done. A lot of Bernie supporters have specifically been frustrated and voiced those frustrations. Yes, we love Bernie, but when are you going to go after her on the emails? When are you going to go after her on the Clinton Foundation? Senator Sanders decided never to go that specific. He might have thought it would be negative. As I've said for a long time, Trump's not going to have that problem. If Bernie went up to the line, Trump has passed the line, turned around, and pissed on the line. Trump is not afraid to call out specific donors. He's not afraid to call out behavior of Bill Clinton in the White House and Hillary Clinton in the White House.
I have decided and visited cities and towns across America, all across America, and seen the devastation caused by the trade policies of Bill and Hillary Clinton, and it's total devastation.
He's basically trying to frame this as the old and stale, which is Hillary Clinton. He called her old and stale, and an outsider who's not indebted or getting the strings pulled. He's an outsider not indebted to the establishment, and he won't have his strings pulled by the establishment. One thing that was really clear in this, he didn't mention the word Mexican. He didn't mention the word Muslim. He talked about immigration, but more in general terms of keeping America safe. A lot of people have basically said Trump would be an appealing candidate as a businessman. Trump would be an appealing candidate as an outsider. The problem is he's been so outwardly hostile and borderline racist against certain groups that it's disqualified him to many. This speech was completely a different Donald Trump.
I've always had a talent for building businesses and, importantly, for creating jobs. That's a talent our country desperately needs. I'm running for president to end the unfairness and to put you, the American worker, first. It's about time.
You know, television news, the media is going to cover it as, oh, he's pivoting. It might be a little late, but the pivot is on, and they're going to be all excited. Who knows if this is the true Donald Trump? I don't even know if Donald Trump knows the true Donald Trump. I will say it's not a coincidence that he fired his campaign manager. Reports say that now his children are in charge, and the first speech he gives after that was essentially a very polished, scripted, capital scripted speech about the economy, about jobs, and laser-like specifics against Hillary Clinton. I would venture that Ivanka Trump, his daughter, very popular, had her fingerprints on this speech heavily. I think you're going to see more of this. I think you're going to see Donald Trump hammering Hillary Clinton over the Clinton Foundation, over her use of emails, over her time as Secretary of State, over Libya, over Iraq, over all these things, and less about Donald Trump focusing on Mexicans and Muslims or whatever group he wants to target today. He also, I should point out, this is a big thing, he's also making a play directly for Bernie Sanders supporters. I'd say within the first 2 or 3 minutes of the speech, he called out to Bernie Sanders supporters, he wants your vote.
That's why we're asking Bernie Sanders voters to join our movement, so together we can fix the system for all Americans so important.
Now, I'm not going to tell supporters to do anything, but it is a little appealing to the most ardent Bernie Sanders supporter when you have a candidate doing the things you wanted your candidate to do, going after Hillary Clinton on the things he wouldn't go after her on. By and large, I don't think the plurality of Bernie Sanders supporters is going to vote for Donald Trump, but he will carve out a few because he's speaking to them. And if he talks like this without going after Muslims and Mexicans and all that stuff, and he's just talking about jobs and enough of the corrupt rigged system, he's got a shot. I don't know if he'll become president. It is Donald Trump, so tomorrow he could come out like a loose cannon again. But at least for today, he sounded like a scripted, polished general election candidate. We're going to have a video up soon for more TYT Politics. That's youtube.com/TYT Politics.